welcome to the channel and welcome to an unboxing. And today it's not movies, it's music today, a music unboxing. I really want to include a bit more music things in my channel, unboxings, a closer look at certain releases, and talking about some of the albums and maybe some reviews and stuff like that. It'd be really nice to introduce some more to my channel, even if I do like a one video a week or a fortnight of sort of like music based. So today we're going to be doing an unboxing, and it's an absolute holy grail of mine. It's a box set I've been after for a long time. It's a band I absolutely adore, and the reason why it's been so long to do is because of the price. It's a very expensive box set. I'm talking £250 plus. It's something I've been after for such a long time, but it's taken me a long time to get like the funds together to get it. And finally, after saving and going without and selling a few bits on eBay, over time I've managed to get the money together and get the box set. And the box set is, if I get it the right way up, is the incredible Bonzo Dog Doodah Band and their box set Still Barking. As you can see, it is a mammoth set, and it weighs an absolute ton. It really does. Really cool. I like the back. It's like an old school like look to the back. So it's really cool box set. And we're going to get to open it in this video. So there's a sticker on the front, and it basically much says it's got 20 discs, which it has 17 CDs and 3 DVDs in there. So that's going to be really cool. So let's not waste too much time. Let's get a deeper look inside this box set. So here we are. Here we have the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, and this is called a Still Barking box set. So it's a hefty box. Let me sort a couple of things out. That's it, so it doesn't keep sort of jolting the camera. Yeah, as you can see, it's a hefty looking box. And this is the reverse. So what we need to do is get this opened very carefully so we don't damage anything in the box. So we just take off the cellophane of the box. Going to try and preserve the sticker on the front. As you know, I do try to keep anything like that I have. Yeah, this has been a long time coming. This has been out now. I think it might have come out last year or the year before, and since its release, it's something that I've been wanting to get. So finally managed to pick it up. I'll just move that to the side. We'll preserve the sticker as much as I possibly can. So right, this is the lid. We're gonna very carefully try and take the lid off. It's very tight, as you can imagine. This is the inside of the box. It's good quality. We'll put that to the side. And it starts off here with, we have a contract from the record label Liberty Bell. So this was like an original sort of contract from the band. I'm just trying to read it. So I believe that's what that is. And there's one from Portrait. So this is like a replica of like contracts and about the band members. So it's really cool. I shall interest that and read that. Obviously, the band members of the band are Vivian Stanshall, Sam Spoons, We have Vernon Dudley Morbid. We have Neil Innes, Roger Williams, Buskin Spear, and we have Larry Smith, legs, Larry Smith, and of course we have Rodney Slater. So they were the members of the band that were mentioned upon these two sort of contracts. So we have those in there, which are really nice. Then it looks like we have a poster. Let's try and open this. Wow, this is ginormous. It's very, very nice. Don't think we're going to get all of this on shot, so I'll try and turn it sideways. You can maybe see it from that one. It says the Bonzo Dog Band. For some bizarre reason, they had to, they dropped the doodah part of the band, which I always thought was a little bit strange because I quite like that. Anyway, so it's a really big poster, which is really nice. Then we have some, looks like some art cards. Or let's have a quick look. Keep that because I'll put that back on there. So we have some art cards of the band, really nice LP size sort of art cards. Great pictures, really cool. There's a classic sort of Bonzo one there, really good. And then we have some photographs in here of the band. We'll have a little look. I believe, if I'm not wrong, some of these have been signed by the artists that are still alive on the release of this box set. So there we go. There's Vivian Stanshall there. Pop that over. And then there's Neil Innes there. There we go. Look, see, this one's actually been signed. I believe they're not prints. They are signed by the actual members of the band, which I probably think will hence why some of the price is quite high. So that's really, really cool. I think that's Roger might have signed that one. Again, signed. That one's signed by Rodney there. And there's Vernon who signed that one. So they've got signed photos. So I can look at them in there and I can see that they're actual marker pen. They're not photocopied. You can tell because of the glare on the sun. I can see that they are actual signatures. So that's really cool. Got 4 items there that have been signed by the members of the band, and photographs of the other members sadly are not with us anymore, so they obviously can't sign it. So it's a nice set of 4 size photos with about 4 of them signed by members of the band. So that's very cool. Next up we have a book. So we'll have a look at that. What we'll probably have to do with that is move this part to the side and we'll pop the book down there. So once again, this is a lovely hardback publication, a great photograph on the front, and I believe this book sort of which is hardback, tells the stories and their stories over the years, sort of like different stories from the band members, the things they got up to and all that sort of thing. So that's really cool. I love that picture. It's very you can see where maybe Quadrophenia got their photo from, or vice versa, because it's very Quadrophenia in look. Very cool. It's really, really nice. Lovely book so far. The intro. They've actually got a song called The Intros and the Outros. So it's got some sort of like rare sort of photographs of the band. There's Neil Innes there on the piano. If you don't know the Bonzo Dog Doodah band, they are a very different kind of band. It's difficult to describe them. Now, I would describe them as rock and roll's version of Monty Python. They have a lot of humour in their songs. Their actual music style is very varied. It's very 60s in certain areas, and in very 1920s sort of sound in others, and in very jazz in others, and in very rock in others. So they've got a eclectic sound altogether, but they have humour throughout their whole sort of back catalogue. And it's a lovely picture there of Vivian Stanshall, rest his soul. They were just sort of band that were really kind of influential to that sort of scene, and I think they must have influenced the Monty Python team quite a bit. So now we've got bits about each sort of band member. So we've had Vivian Stanshall there, Neil Innes there, we've got Rodney Slater there, another great picture, reminds me of the Specials. And they produce some great fun albums, and their music it can be a bit difficult to understand if you've never heard it, because it's not like anything you've ever heard before, and that's why I liked them, because they were so different, and they were quite wacky with sort of like obscure kind of ideas. It's probably the word I'm looking for, but they were fantastic. So now we've got a bit here about On the Road with the Bonzo Dog Doodah band, and they're talking about their different tours that they've been on and some of the stories they got up to. And there's a bit there from Sam Spoons, who played the Spoons, obviously Vernon Dudley. And it tells you where did the Doodah band come from. It tells you the background of the band, where they all come from. It's got some interviews with some people that love the Dog Doodah band. Pete Townsend there, John Estewell there. It's full of like little stories and like little paragraphs from fans. That's really cool. A great poster there. Come listen and enjoy the fabulous Bonzo Dog Doodah band every Sunday and Thursday at Tigerhead. That must be a pub there in Bromley Road, Catford. They must have had like a house in there where they sat there and did that. So it's really cool. There's so much different stories, and that is the poster that I tried to show you, but it's way too big. But that is the actual copy of the poster. It's very Monty Python in style, isn't it? And obviously they were influenced by a lot of bands at the time. Obviously the Beatles were big at the time, so a lot of their sound came from that. They were liked by the Beatles. John Lennon and Paul McCartney, they liked the Bonzo Dog Doodah band. Paul McCartney actually worked and produced probably, I think, their hit single. They had one sort of really big hit single called I'm the Urban Spaceman. I think it was produced by Paul McCartney, I'm sure it was. But they also starred in one of the Beatles films. They starred in the Magical Mystery Tour. So here's a poster here from, looks like they're on a tour there, maybe with Led Zeppelin. There's a bit here from Eric Idle. Obviously they had quite a lot to do with the Monty Python team. Before Monty Python, there was a TV show called Do Not Adjust Your Set, which included most of the Monty Python team and other people like David Jason starred in that. And the Bonzos were a regular sort of guest for the musical sort of part of the show. They'd have like a music guest, and the Bonzos were a part of that. And I'm sure a lot of that's going to be a part of the DVDs that are here. Some great black and white photographs there. Absolutely stunning. Sorry this is taking my time, guys, because I'm seeing it for the first time as you. And being a big fan, I want to sort of take my time and look through it all. Really cool. Obviously, I'll take my time even more once I've done the video to have a look. That's a great photo. I love all those sort of like little speech bubbles there. Really cool. Yeah, they're very, I would say, required taste. But if you're a massive sort of Monty Python fan, or a Beatles fan, or music of sort of traditional jazz, or anything like that, you're going to find something to love within the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, I'm sure. I love this sort of imagery with the old gramophone there. That's a bit bizarre, but there we go. Neil there seems to be grabbing that doll, but it's really cool. Great photographs in this book, and there's so much text for me to read through, so I can sort of like pretty much delve right into and satisfy all my Bonzo Dog Doodah Band needs. Now we have some sort of releases, some single releases down the old Parlophone label. Whoops, sorry guys. Lovely black and white photographs. And there's the album cover for Gorillaz, which was their debut album. Mighty fine album it is too. And here's some other covers from some of their singles. I think the Urban Spaceman, the different covers from its release, probably around the world, I expect. I actually quite like that one the best. If you can see it on here, you might not be able to. But yeah, absolutely fantastic photographs. That's another great picture there. So that's obviously some sort of festival they played there with the Cream, John Mayall, John Mayall's Blues Breakers, Bonzo Dog Doodah Band were there, Monty Sunshine and his jazz band, Cyril Stapleton show band. So that must have been a great day. Where was that held at? University of London. Very cool. Some great pictures in here, guys. Hope you're enjoying this box set, especially if you've come in and you are a Bonzo fan. There's another album of theirs, the Donut and Granny's Greenhouse. Great picture, that one. Absolutely fantastic. Vivian there with some, looks like Irish wolfhounds there. I don't know what Vivian in there sort of be kissing this stuffed hog there. And then we've got sort of paper clippings from newspapers, obviously when they were made sort of papers. So that's really nice as well, having these, because I can read these. Some of them look a bit small, maybe a little bit unreadable, but a lot of them I could probably get through and read a lot of these. So that's really cool. There's some tadpoles. Another great album of theirs. Photographs again of them making, I think this is from photographs, probably from Don't Adjust Your TV Set. The TV Times, so there they go, they made the cover of the TV Times there for Do Not Adjust Your Set. So that's from the show there. Really cool. Yeah, Do Not Adjust Your Set was pretty much the Monty Python team before it became Monty Python. But it also included, at that time, David Jason from Only Fools and Horses was within the team there for the Don't Adjust Your Set, and so were the Bonzos. Mr. Apollo, it's like an advert for the song there. Canyons of Your Minds, another single. Now, when I went to see the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band in London, when they performed that, it was sung by Phil Jupitus. He came on stage and sang that one. That was a great show. They had Phil Jupitus turned up. We had Stephen Fry turn up. He come and narrated some songs that were there. They had Paul Merton came on and he sang Monster Mash. We also had Adrian Edmondson there. He came on and he sang Bored, and he dressed up as a chicken for Mr. Slater's parrot. He dressed up as a parrot. You're not a chicken, Joff. Get your head together, mate. So look how big this book is and how full it is. Absolutely amazing. And then they broke up for a long time, like I said. And Vivian Stanshall went and did his own career. Neil Innes went and did his own. And obviously, unfortunately, Vivian Stanshall unfortunately died. I think it was around about 92, something like that. The band did reform on their sort of 40th anniversary, and did, like I said, a couple of tours. And me and my friend Rob were lucky to go along to one at the at London. It was either, I'm sure it was Shepherd's Bush Empire, I can't remember, but yeah, because it was a few years back now. But it was fantastic. So yeah, that is the book, and we're getting to the end of the book now. Sorry, it's been a long haul for you. Bonzo Chronology. So this is going through all their releases from 1966. So this is really in depth, probably telling you about all the different releases, and I think it also tells you performances where they've been on TV or radio and stuff like that. The Bonzos at the Beeb. So this is all their performances at the BBC. And here we have Still Barking audio content, which we won't really look at because we just want to enjoy that ourselves. And then we got the outro, which gives us all the information about the production of this box set and of the remasters that are in that box set. And that is the book that comes within the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. So that's really, really nice. If we can pop that out of the way, we'll bring the box back. So here's the CDs. As you can see, it's substantial. I'll take them out. So that's all the CDs we have here in this box set, and there is loads. So we'll have a little look. We'll take these off. We can possibly take these off as well, and we can pop it in there. We can go through them, can't we, one by one. So we have Gorillaz, which I believe this is now a 2 CD set in this collection. It has the mono version and then the stereo version, obviously, because back in the day, in the 60s, a lot of the albums were still in mono, and that was simply because of like the equipment that was available to people to listen to music. But then stereo sort of came in, stereo music, and then bands sort of like produced stereo versions. Now, a lot of stereo versions were quite difficult listens at that time, simply because you'd have some instruments in one ear and some instruments in another. So if you played that stereo version on a mono, you'd lose some of the sound. So it was just a different way that they recorded it back then. It's just the way it is. So yeah, you have the album there in its entirety, in its sort of like proper sleeve as well, which is really cool. I won't go through the whole track listings with you because this will take this video forever. But yeah, you have a mono and stereo version of Gorillaz. The Donut of Granny's Greenhouse. Let's have a look. We have CD1 mono, CD2 stereo. So that's fantastic. It's great to have great different mixes of these albums, because if you're a big fan of the band, which I am, I've only had the one sort of versions. I've got the remasters But this has like the different kind of 2 different mixes of the album, so that's going to be really cool. So I can have a listen to see how different they sound. I will bring some of these to my channel, I think, in reviews. Demos and outtakes. So this is a completely different disc. It's got 1, 2 CDs in there. So this has got all demos and outtakes, volume 1, and demos and outtakes, volume 2. So that's really cool. So that's stuff that hasn't been released. Okay, Bonzo Dog Band BBC Sessions. So this opens up this way, and is it 3 discs or is it 2? It's 3 discs in here. So great photographs there. So these would be all the sessions and maybe live stuff from the BBC. BBC Sessions Volume 1, BBC Sessions Volume 2, and BBC Sessions Volume 3. So there's a lot going on in there. From sessions from like Top Gear session. Again, I'm not sure what that is because I wasn't around. Well, I was born, but I was too young to know what that was. That might have been a radio show back then. It's nothing to do with a TV show, I wouldn't have thought. Radio Club, February, Symphony of Sunday, Top Gear again, Radio 1 Club, Simmons on Sunday, the Brandon Meets the Saturday People, it's a session from that, and we have obviously more Top Gear ones on the first disc, Saturday Club, and so they're all different radio shows that they've done sessions for, so it's the different versions of the radio sessions for the BBC. Nice, I like they've done like this sort of worn look on there, really cool, really nice. And then we have the Bonzo's Live, Bonzo Dog Live. So some great pictures there. It's great to have these because the only live ones I've got of the Bonzos are without Vivian in the band. So we've got one called Live Disc 1 and Live Disc 2. And one is recorded at, is it WAR? One's recorded at Paradiso, Amsterdam. And there's one at Fillmore East, which obviously will probably be in America. So you've got 3 live concerts there. One was recorded in November 1968 at Studio Bellevue, Amsterdam. And then we've got a live one recorded August the 25th, 1969 at Paradiso, Amsterdam. And the live Fillmore one is, both mono recordings, is October the 17th, 1969. So I've got some very old rare recordings on there, which would be cool. So all the discs look like an old they all got this 1970, like not 19. They got like an old 78's record kind of label put on the actual disc, which I love. So in this first set, you've got the live one. You have the BBC sessions. You have demos and outtakes. You have the mono and stereo recording of the Donuts of Granny's Greenhouse, and the mono and stereo recordings of Gorillaz. So we'll have a little look at the second set. In here we have tadpoles. This will probably be once again. Actually, this one is just one disc, so I think it's probably just going to be a stereo mix of the item. Maybe they started to just release stereos then. So we have just tadpoles, but again in its original sort of sleeve, which is fantastic. We'll have a look at the disc again. As you see, a 78 kind of label looking thing, because they were very influenced by, they used to listen to old 78s and stuff like that, so that's why their music was quite jazzy and quite sort of like Noel Coward kind of sounding, if you like, at some points, and other times they were just pure sort of psychedelic sort of 60s sounding. So this is really cool. This is Can Sham, one of their later albums. Really cool. This has just one disc. It's got side 1, side 2. It's the actual layout of the old how it would have been released, just like that. Really good album. I think this was their last album, I think, the Bonzo Dog Band. So this was their last album, their last sort of studio album. Great picture there, Vivian. Really cool. I actually really like that album. I don't think there's an album that I don't like, to be honest. They've only done, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 albums. So all the rest are stuff that wasn't on an album, things like this. So we have next Bonzo Dog Band, the singles. So this has got the singles on there. This is a 1 disc. So it's going to be all the songs that they released as a single, stuff that wasn't on an album, like My Brother Makes the Noises for the Talkies. Isn't on any of the albums, but this is where you'll find it on here with all their sort of singles. This is going to be a little bit like a best of, I would have thought. Really nice though, great cover. I like the way it sort of blends in with the last album a bit, with its design. Right, up next, the Bonzo Dog Band, Madness at the Manor Live Marquee Club. So we have another live album. Wow, that's some great photographs. I love that picture. That's so cool. This one's recorded rehearsals, Madness at the Manor. So it's got the music studio. You've got the music studio where they went to do the rehearsals, and then you've got live at the Marquee where you got part of the show there, which is really, really cool. So another live album in rehearsals and at the show. So that's cool. Next up we have Bonzo Dog Band in the studio. Bonzo Backins. So I'm not quite sure what's on this disc. I'll have to read that out on this one. It says backing, so I wonder if it's just like them sort of getting the tracks together, maybe backing tracks and stuff like that, and sort of like the songs in their sort of raw kind of beginnings. That'd be really interesting. It says these backing tracks were used when the band performed on TV. Oh, okay. Feel free to sing along. So these are going to be like pretty much instrumentals. So they use them for the backing tracks, because a lot of times on the TV shows they didn't play the instruments live. They would probably sing live on it, but they wouldn't actually play the instruments live. So they are the backing tracks. So that is so interesting. What an interesting concept disc to have. Really cool. I really look forward to that. I'm not going to sing along. I'm not going to play it and do a video of me singing them, although that would be hilarious. But there we go. That's cool. So that is all the albums. So now we're down to the DVDs. We have DVD 1, Starters. Some great photographs from the shows that they've been on. So the artist, Blue Peter, they're on Blue Peter. New Faces, their performances from the New Faces. I remember seeing some of those. 1967 Pathé footage from the films. Beat Club, there's some music from Beat Club. Star Parade, and I Am the Urban Spaceman US promo. So it's got the promo video, but it's got like TV performances from different shows that they've been on. DVD 2 says the main course. Do Not Adjust Your Set, December 1967 to March 1968. So these look like, I think these could be 4 episodes, or they might be just the Bonzos from those episodes and not the actual 4 shows. But that shows you that they appeared on the show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 episodes they appeared on, and it's all their performances from Do Not Adjust the Set. That would have been nice if it was the whole shows, but I do believe I've got a DVD somewhere of that. Or Do Not Adjust Your Set. So that's really cool. And last but not least, we have DVD 3, Deserts. Some more great pictures. Colour Me Pop, December 1968. That looks like it's almost like a whole show there. The Adventures of the Son of Exploding Sausage. And another one that I can't really pronounce. I think that looks like could be some festival somewhere in 1969. So these look like two live performances there, which are really, really cool. I'll be looking forward to seeing them. So that's the DVDs. You have the live performances there. You have their live performances from the show Do Not Adjust Your Set. You have all their appearances on the different TV shows. Blue Peter, bizarre. You have the interesting backing tracks for the live TV shows. You have the rehearsals and live show at the Marquee Club. You have the singles, which is going to be a little bit like a best of. You have their last album, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. The Bonzo Dog Band, sorry. You have their album Kenasham. And you have the album Tadpoles. So that, guys, is the unboxing. And look, in-depth look at the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band box, Still Barking. So I hope you liked that in-depth look at the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. I know it's quite a long video, but there's a lot to go through, as you can see. And this box set covers pretty much their whole history. Let's have a little look at the design here of the box. It's got some magnificent artwork, which is absolutely beautiful. And if you're a fan of the band, you'll realise that there's little stories on there, like Mr. Slater's parrot on there and stuff like that, which is cool. And these coins all have pictures in there of some of the members of the band. Well, all the members of the band. So we've got Neil there, Neil Innes. We have Vernon up here. I have to turn around to have a little look. We've got Larry Legs Larry there. Rodney down the bottom. Rodney. Sam Spoons down the bottom here as well. Roger there. And there we have the wonderful Vivian Stanshall. So it's a really, really cool little designs of each sort of like little band member. As you can see, the detail that's gone into this wonderful, wonderful set. And it's got this really old sort of looking, I thought, oh, is it dirty? But no, it's supposed to look like that. Obviously like maybe an old 78 cover or something like to maybe look of its age. But it's really, really cool design all the way around. It's an amazing set. So glad to get this in my collection. As you can probably see, I absolutely adore it. Now, who is this set aimed at? It's aimed at the fan, the Bonzo fan. So someone likes to collect everything of them. So if you've got this, you probably don't need anything else. But I do believe there is a couple of CDs out there you can still get that are of radio performances. I think I've seen a couple on Amazon, which is something I might pick up at some point. Once I've haured my way through this lot. Any negatives about the set? No, none whatsoever. The only thing I would have said that I would have included in this, but they probably couldn't, would have been the Vivian Stanshall solo albums. He's done like a number of solo albums, so to have had them in there would have been really good. But then you could say, well, you'd have to include the Neil Innes albums and stuff like that. So, yeah, so you could go on forever. But when the Bonzo split, they went and did their own thing. That's probably why they're not in this set, because this is solely about the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, who they did drop the doodah later on, maybe because of what it kind of meant, like, you know, I think that's another word for poo, isn't it? So is it the Bonzo Dog Shit Band, you know? But yeah, they dropped that later. But then when we saw them live, they actually brought the name back, and there is let me just grab it, guys. Just give me a second. Totally organised as always. If I can put my hand on it, that is. Here it is. Give me a second. go. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, I'm always totally organised. There is another CD, a live album that is available. I'm sure it's live. It actually might be studio. I've not listened to it for so many years now. But it's called Wrestle, Poodles and Win, which is the band without Vivian. This was all based upon when they did their tour and things like that. So you got performances on here with Stephen Fry, Phil Jupiters, Paul Merton, and Adrian Edmondson. And it's I believe a 2-disc set. Again, I love the art style. It's so cool. I'm sure this is going to be a live album. I haven't listened to this for so long. I don't know if it's the live recording from when we saw them. I'm not sure. Let me try and get that open. It's 2 discs because it does have pictures in there from the live show, which is really cool. So they do have that album, which is really cool. Let me put it back in its slipcase. I must give this another listen to. It's been a while, so I will do. But they did release it on DVD, the show that we went to, so that's fantastic. Really cool show. And then they also released another sort of DVD box set, which I have here. This contains 2 sort of documentaries about the band. There's one called In Their Own Words. That's all the band's talking about stories of being in the band and stories about Vivian. And then you've got the Greatest Hits Live, which are pretty much, I think, a replica sort of thing of that disc. And in the 3rd disc is the revised 2nd edition of the Critical Review. So that one will be the band and fans and people talking about the stuff. There's a lot of information and stuff going on these in this set. Again, with amazing artwork on this one. Really cool. Love that. So I've got those sets as well. Plus I do have some of the other albums singly, and I also have another box set called the 5 Classic Albums, which is like the classic albums. So there we go, and that is it. So what is this set aimed at? Like I said, it's aimed at the collector like me, the person that loves the band. Now, if you're new to the band and you haven't really got them, I wouldn't recommend going and spending 250 or 260, 279 pounds on this box set. There is another box set out there, which I would highly recommend if you just want to get into the Bonzos and listen to them the first time. It's called Chronology. It's out of print, but you can find it on places, eBay, or even probably on Amazon for about £12 by second-hand sellers. So I would highly recommend getting that one. It's like a real cover of all their career. So it's really worth picking that up if you can. Chronology it's called. Really cool. I would highly recommend that. It's a great little box set, and the way that the songs are arranged on that set are really really enjoyable, and it makes you sort of like, wow, these bands are actually really good. And that's the cool thing about that box set. I got into the Bonzos. I've heard of them, and I had a couple of their albums, but I never really got really into them until me and my mate went to see them, and then I just fell in love with them from that day. And that's going back now, you know, a good number of years, and I fell in love with them, and since then I've been an avid sort of collector. Now, there was another version of this box set which obviously went straight away. It's exactly the same as this. I think it was called the Deluxe Edition, but it had in it a proper 78 record of some of their songs on a 78, and it also had like a 7-inch single, I believe, in there. But they went straight away. I am on the lookout for both of those to see if anyone actually sells them separately on eBay. You never know, because it would be great to get those to put in this set. But really cool. I'm happy to have this edition, and it's great to bring it to my CD collection. Absolutely amazing. the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band Still Barking. I know this has been a hell of a long video, guys, but I've got a lot to talk about because I love the band. They are such an amazing band. They are so different from anything you've ever heard. Like I said, they are rock and roll's Monty Python band. That's if you love Monty Python, that sort of humour, that sort of a little bit dark, a little bit wacky, and a little bit hysterical sort of humour, then you will love the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Cheers, guys.